Hey everyone, my name is Tristan and welcome to my small workshop in my basement. This video is the 7th and final part of my Toothless Ironman armor build series. And I'm going to show you how I made the helmet and the gauntlets of the armor. So let's not waste any time and get right into the build. Before we start, here's the picture I'm basing my entire armor on. We're gonna start off by building the forearms of the armor. I pre-cut all the pieces off camera to make the video as short as possible. All of the pieces were cut out from 8mm thick EVA foam. Every single piece was cut straight except for the round piece, which will be the palm of the hand, and it has an inward angle cut all the way around except on the top. Because I want to have two forearm pieces, I need to trace and cut all of the pieces again. Because I want to have a right forearm and not a left forearm again, I need to flip every piece before I trace them onto the foam. To trace my pieces, I'm using a permanent ink marker. When I'm done tracing, I can use a very sharp X-Acto knife to liberate every single piece from the foam. I make sure to cut every single piece straight except for the round piece, which has an inward angle cut all the way around except on the top. To make the weirdly shaped opening on the biggest piece, I use a sharpened PVC pipe to drill 2 holes into my foam, and then I connect the two using my very sharp X-Acto knife. Now that all of my pieces have been cut out, it's time to heat form them. For that, I'm using my heat gun. I like to heat up my pieces starting from the top side, then I flip them and heat up the underside, and then I flip them again and give a quick little blast to the top before forming them. To shape your pieces, you don't need any fancy tools, just use your hands and your knee to give them a nice round form. When all of my pieces have been heat formed, it's time to glue them all together. My adhesive of choice is contact cement, but you could use hot glue or even super glue. The way you use contact cement is you apply some to both of the pieces you want to stick together, then you wait a couple minutes for the glue to not be wet but still be tacky, and at this point you can glue both of your pieces together. To not have to wait for the contact cement to dry, I apply it to every single piece, and when I'm done, the first piece to which I have applied the contact cement is already dried. By the way, when you spread your contact cement on your foam, make sure you spread it evenly and in a thin coat. If not, it won't stick properly. When I'm done applying the contact cement, it's time to glue everything together. I start by closing off the dart on my biggest piece. When that's done, I connect the two smaller forearm pieces together. Next, I stick the round piece to the rest of the forearm. And finally, I can connect the biggest piece to my 3 other pieces. And now I have my base for my gauntlets / forearm pieces all done. And you can see that it already fits my arm pretty well. Because I don't want my entire hand to come out from the front of the gauntlet, I'm gonna cut out a small semicircle out of foam to cover the opening. When that's done, I can glue 1 semicircle to each forearm piece. And of course, for that, I'm using my contact cement. The next step is to make 4 small openings for my fingers using my Dremel to the piece we just glued on. When that's done, you can see how much of a difference it makes when I put it on. Now it's time to cut a big round opening in the palm of the hand using a very sharp X-Acto knife. This is gonna be to put lights in later to make the iconic Ironman repulsors. Because my cut wasn't perfect, I refined it using my Dremel. The next step was to cut out, heat form, and glue on some pieces to protect my elbows. Now it's finally time to add some details to those forearm pieces. Off camera, I made 6 spikes out of foam which I then glued on to the gauntlets. This is to make them look more like dragon paws. And I think that with the spikes, the gauntlets look really good. And the last pieces I made for my forearm pieces were some covers for my thumbs. And now my gauntlets are all finished, it's time to move on to the helmet. Instead of making an entire Ironman helmet from scratch, I decided to use Yen Prod's templates. Those are his templates for the Ironman Mark IV. Those templates are really amazing, and they are completely free. As you can see from the concept art, the final helmet needs to have ears and horns. I'm gonna start by making the ears. Because I wasn't sure about the size and shape of the ears, I decided to make simple templates before starting to cut into foam. When my templates were done, I traced them on 8mm thick EVA foam and then cut them out. I made some inward angle cuts so that the ear attaches to the helmet on a 45-degree angle. And then I made a V-groove undercut so that the top part of the ear can fold on itself. When that was done, I heated up the piece using my heat gun and then I formed it into shape. Then I cut out some additional pieces to fill in the underside of the ears. And of course, using my contact cement, I glued them to the rest of the ears. And now my ears are complete. Using contact cement, I attached them to the rest of the helmet. And I think they look really good. And finally, I attached the horns to the rest of the helmet, and by the way, they were made using the same techniques as the ears. And I can finally say that the construction of my Toothless Ironman armor is complete. So here are the final helmet and gauntlets of the armor all painted up. I really like how they look, especially the helmet, and I also like the light which I added in the gauntlets to make it look like Ironman's repulsors. So this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more cool stuff like this. Of course, soon I'm gonna make a video revealing the entire armor all put together, which is gonna be pretty awesome, so stay tuned for that. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.